Okay, so for dinner today, we're going to have turkey legs and some kidney beans with some Swiss chard. So I'm about to marinate our meat. First, we're going to wash the turkey legs. And as you can see, I lined my pan with aluminum foil. It makes easy cleanup in the end. We're going to drizzle this with some olive oil and rub it with a smoked turkey rub. And before we start marinating our meat, over here I have boiling some hen broth. I had boiled some Cornish hens and I had saved the broth. And so now the broth is here and it's hot, so I'm going to drop my kidney beans in there. I currently have it on high, but I want to turn it down to 5. I'll put my kidney beans in there. This broth was, when the Cornish hens were boiling, they boil with garlic, celery, onion. So this broth is nice and seasoned. And we're going to have these beans on the stove for a couple of hours. Of course, when you get your beans in the pot, you'll want to cover it and simmer between 4 and 5. You want to slow cook your beans so they'll be tender and full of flavor. Now I'm going to pour some olive oil on the meat. And I'm going to sprinkle some roasted turkey rub that I got from Central Market. I usually stock up around November and have it throughout the year. And then I'll put some black pepper. And I usually don't use measurements with seasoning. I cook from the heart, so use your eye and your best judgment. Now I put just a tablespoon of water at the bottom, and I use a basting brush to get all the seasonings all over the meat. And I'm going to let this sit out. You can either let it sit in the fridge overnight or for a few hours in the fridge. But before you put it in the oven, you want to pull it out the fridge and let the pan get to room temperature. So just about 10 minutes before pulling it out the fridge. And I cook that real good. Okay, now I'm going to cover it and let it sit for about 15 minutes before putting it in the oven. We'll put it in the oven for on 350 degrees, and we'll also want to preheat the oven. The beans are cooking on medium-low. And our meat is marinating. You want to cover it. Okay, these beans are getting nice and tender. And so I'll come behind it with a little bit of low sodium seasoning salt and some pepper. But as this liquid starts to thicken, I'm going to turn it down a little bit more. I'm going to turn it down on low because we don't want those beans to burn. And then our turkey is in the oven. It's nice and covered. And it's on 350. Okay, it's been an hour and I have uncovered the meat. We'll let them cook for another 15 to 20 minutes. And as it's cooking, we'll go ahead and put on our greens. I just got Earthbound Organic Power Blend. It has spinach, kale, and chard. And I'm going to put some fresh garlic cut up some fresh garlic and put that in the pot. Okay, I've cut up some fresh garlic. You see that? Just some different chunks. And I'll let this cook, and then we'll season at the end. Now, you all know that I don't use salt. And then if I do use salt, it's Morton's low sodium seasoning salt. For this dish, the garlic and a little bit of black pepper will be the seasoning. And then hubby can add salt at the end if he'd like, but he's probably not on his veggies. And that dry rub that we put on the turkey, it has a little bit of sea salt in it. So those are other areas to compromise your salt. Instead of putting salt on everything, have it on one thing and let the flavor from that permeate to the other bites that you add to your palate. Alright, it's been a total of 1 hour and 20 minutes. I let the turkey cook for an hour covered in the oven. And then after an hour, I pulled off the aluminum foil and let it cook for 20 minutes uncovered. That way it could get nice and golden brown. We'll want to let our meat rest, so I'm going to cover it back up and let it rest for about 10 minutes while the Swiss chard is cooking. And that just maintains the juices of the meat, causes your meat to not shrivel up. And look at those beans. They're nice and tender. We let them cook on medium low to low for about 2 hours. And as soon as that sauce that broth and sauce start to thicken up, we turned it down to low. So it's just resting, ready to eat. Okay, so the Swiss chard is done. We'll add a little bit of black pepper. And we'll start plating. And the meat has rested. Doesn't that look good? Nice golden brown. Alright, and that is our dinner. We have roasted turkey legs, kidney beans, and Swiss chard. Bon appetit! Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel. Enjoy!